Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And allow me to begin this video by asking you guys a question. And kindly just take a second and respond to it. Do you think the ticket of Kalonzo Musyoka and Edwin Sifuna can defeat William Ruto in 2027? Can William Ruto survive the onslaught from Sifuna and Kalonzo's ticket? I'm asking that question because according to the latest opinion poll results by Infotrak, most opposition supporters prefer the ticket of Sifuna and Kalonzo. Actually, the Kalonzo presidential candidate and Sifuna as the running mate. Do you think it can defeat William Ruto? Let us look at the figures according to Infotrak. Kalonzo-Sifuna are preferred by 23%. Kalonzo Matiang'i is second at 16%. And then there is also the ticket of Matiang'i and Kalonzo, which is at 15%. And of course, there's also the Matiang'i-Gachagua ticket, which most of them don't prefer. And of course, you also know that that's a ticket that cannot work. Again, at the individual level, if elections were held today, William Ruto will get 32% of the entire votes, which means the opposition has a chance of defeating William Ruto. Kalonzo is second, and this is where it is now interesting. Kalonzo is second at 13%. Sifuna is third at 12%. Matiang'i is also tying with Sifuna at 12%. And of course, Rigathi Gachagua, 4%. Babu Owino is down there. Someone like James Orengo is not even featuring anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, can this ticket defeat William Ruto in 2027? Because let us agree, Kalonzo Musyoka is not new. He has contested for the presidency before. He was Raila Odinga's running mate on 2 occasions. And of course, I must confess that after the last election, Kalonzo Musyoka has tried to play the right politics. Do you think he has what it takes to remove William Ruto from office? Sifuna has emerged. And the truth of the matter is that if Sifuna were to be given, or if these opinion polls were to be repeated in the next 3 months, probably the results are going to be different. But the question is, and this is where now I want you guys to help me. In fact, if I leave out one of the comments, in fact, should I leave out any point, put it in the comment section for us all to understand. Before I get into the details, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, this team can defeat Ruto because based on numbers, William Ruto is actually ahead at 32%. If you look at the figures, Kalonzo is at 13, Sifuna 12, Fred Matiang'i 12. That's already 37 combined. So if you add the Rigathi one, Babu one, Maraga one, then you can clearly see that if elections were held and the opposition remains united, they'll definitely defeat William Ruto. But can they do it? Number one, there is the biggest headache or dilemma called the unity of the opposition. The truth of the matter is that one of the things William Ruto will be depending on to defeat this team is if they fail to unite. For example, there's a general consensus that Kalonzo is more senior. He's been there and therefore deserves to be the flag bearer. But on the other side, there's also Edwin Sifuna, who is more credible, fresh start, which most people are calling for, resonates with the people. His performance in the Senate is sterling. Can one of them agree? Because the thing is, according to this opinion poll, it should be Kalonzo-Sifuna. If this team can agree, and unite, they will defeat Ruto. The question is, can they unite? Can Sifuna agree to deputize Kalonzo? Which he can do. What about his supporters who expect nothing apart from the presidency? So that's the first thing, the first factor. Number two, there is also the odium factor in this 2027 politics. And that can actually explain why this ticket is popular. What do I mean? Kalonzo was Raila Odinga's running mate. Sifuna was ODM Secretary General for a long time. At any given time, ODM supporter must have voted for Kalonzo through the ticket of Raila 2 times. Sifuna was SG. This can explain why the ticket of Sifuna and Kalonzo is appealing to most people because of the ODM factor. But will this ODM vote for this team as a block? That is the question which they should figure out. If Sifuna and Kalonzo wants to win in 2027, then they must ask themselves the hard question. The question of ODM support base. Will the Oburu camp spoil the party for them? For example, in Luo Nation, will the Oburu camp lock them out of the Luo Nation? Or will they persuade the Luo Nation to vote alongside this ticket? So how they will manage the ODM politics, in my view, will help them. Because if you look at it from this perspective, the mountain is there. They don't have a presidential candidate. But in case of a split, something might happen. So the question is, can Kalonzo, Sifuna manage to consolidate the ODM support base? If they will be able to consolidate the ODM support base in their favor, Ruto is home. The third thing which is very important is the game of numbers. Politics is normally a game of numbers, either real or perceived. Let us look at the numbers from the face value. We are going to have Kalonzo running and Sifuna ticket. I doubt if Matiang'i will be in that ticket. Matiang'i might decide also to run. So if you are to look at the Luhya votes, the Kamba votes, it is going to mean that they now need to get the votes from the mountain. So the question which is going to be asked is whether Uhuru will stick with Matiang'i and then Rigathi with Kalonzo. Then who will take the win? Because for William Ruto, he just needs to exploit those small disagreements and convert them. In fact, it's going to be easy for William Ruto to deny this ticket, the votes, not through another thing, but through ensuring that the turnout is low. So for example, if Ruto knows that Mount Kenya will not vote for him, the Luhya nation, the NIS can help him craft a strategy which will ensure that on the voting day, there's a low turnout in their region. So the game of numbers is very important. These two, if you are to give them the mountain, they have those numbers. Number three, I also tend to think that the other thing which can stop these guys, and this is an issue which they must address, is internal sabotage. I did a video about Babu Wino yesterday. It has not performed so well. And anybody who loves politics should actually watch that video. In that video, I explained that Linda Wanenchi tour in Olkalau was actually sabotaged. So this team must be prepared for sabotage and how to deal with sabotage. Sabotage will come in a way that they might not even know. The camp will be infiltrated. They will know these guys love this. Then they pounce. So for me, internal sabotage is something which, for me, Linda Wananchi must guard against. We are seeing what Caliber Miss is trying to do and say. Who else has also been talking? The other day you saw Jimmy Wanjigi. On the other side, DCP, you've been listening to Cleophas Malala. So those are how William Ruto might stop them from winning. Just create sabotage. So you plan this happens. There's a case of Raila Odinga which I love explaining to people. That was in 2017. The people who are organizing the route for Raila Odinga were actually sabotaging Raila Odinga. I remember there was a day we left Nairobi, went to Kisii. Now we arrived in Kisii in the morning because that was the day for the rally. Then you prepare the ground. By the time Raila comes, munasikiza a bit of speeches because he's flying. Then the next stop, one day, ameanza rally Kisii. There's a stop in Busia. So you leave Kisii, you go to Busia. Some of us on the road, you want to reach before Raila arrives. From there, the next rally, the next day, somewhere in Ukambani. I remember from Busia, we drove straight, very tired, to Johnson Muthama's home. So this kind of internal sabotage can cause these guys the defeat. But the victory is theirs. Remember, they're dealing with President Ruto, a man who has never lost election. He's also waiting for them. I'm actually observing what's happening in Olkalau, because Olkalau is definitely going to determine and it's going to shape the politics in the mountain moving forward. And of course, the vote protection. How will they protect their votes? We are seeing the violence being unleashed. Is it a strategy to intimidate? So the infiltration of these people. Remember, William Ruto managed to infiltrate Uhuru Kenyatta. He implanted his team inside Uhuru Kenyatta so that any strategy meeting Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga were holding, before they left the venue, William Ruto had the whole copy. So if you're planning, we are going to use this to defeat him, yeah, I may counter that. He was outside. Right now he's the president. I don't know what you think, but I think I tend to agree with these opinion polls by Infotrak that the ticket of Sifuna and Kalonzo is the ideal one for the opposition. I don't know what to think. That's my take. Until next time, this is Limakuj. Bye-bye.